Okay, everyone, we are starting back. All right, who's the attorney on Ian Stewart?
Hi, Your Honor. Good afternoon. This is Javier Garcia, and I'm taking over the plea for Mr. Shannon Locke with the court's approval, client's consent.
Sure. All right, Mr. Fox, I'll send you to a breakout room to confer, and I'll send you to breakout room number 3. All right, is there a prosecutor available to take the plea on Ian Stewart?
I'm here, Judge.
All right, thank you. And now it works. All right, the court is calling 2021 CR 5885, State of Texas versus Ian Stewart. Can I have the parties announced for the record for the state?
Brittany Sparks.
For the defense?
Javier Garcia, Your Honor, and I'm Mr. Shannon Locke's associate attorney and taking over the plea for Mr. Shannon Locke.
All right, everyone, just give me one moment, please. Everyone, just give me a moment while I sign some paperwork, please. Thank you.
I'm gonna get something from Candy's.
No, I'm good.
All right, is there any other prosecutor who needs to be made co-host? And Mr. Chase, can you go back to breakout room number 2? And Mr. Acevedo, if you can go to number 2 so that the clerk can swear him in.
Will be done.
Right. And Victoria Cruz, you're with Mr. Samaniego.
Yes, Your Honor. He's still, I think he's missing one packet. I'm not sure what he's turned in.
Okay, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 4. And Mr. Samaniego, if you can go to number 4, please.
And Judge, if I can be made a co-host, please. Thank you.
Yes,
Judge, I'm sorry, Joe Ray as well.
sure.
Thanks.
And to everyone else here, while I'm doing the plea, please make sure you pay attention to your chat boxes and to the breakout rooms, because a prosecutor may be trying to send you to a breakout room to confer with you. All right, we're back on the record in 2021 CR 5885. And I'm sorry, if I could have parties announced for the record for the state,
Brittany Sparks.
for the defense.
Javier Garcia, Your Honor, and I'm Mr. Shannon Locke, Associate Attorney.
All right. And are you Mr. Ian Stewart?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any objection to the Associate Attorney Javier Garcia standing in for Mr. Locke?
No, ma'am.
I'm going to show you a document entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Any objections to the state with us proceeding by video?
No, Your Honor.
Any objection from the defense with us proceeding by video?
No, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm going to show you application for community community supervision. Mr. Stewart, did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case and did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Stewart, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Stewart, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you're charged with driving while intoxicated, third or more? That's a third-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront anyone that the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Stewart, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. On the plea bargain paperwork, Mr. Garcia, are you aware that the court is going to entertain or consider the state's request for ignition interlock for half the term? Are you aware of that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled plea bargain agreement. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea bargain agreement, punishments be assessed at 3 years in the prison. There's a $1,500 fine. There's no application for deferred adjudication. The state recommends community supervision. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense is at the plea bargain agreement.
Yes, Your Honor.
State is at the plea bargain agreement.
Yes, Your Honor.
Next, I'm going to show you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. The state is, just one moment, off the record. Ms. Garrison, what you have to do is you have to appear in the 187 District Court in person. It's located at 300 De La Rosa. We're on the 4th floor. The court does not allow people to appear in bras and inappropriately dressed for court. So you need to appear in the court. Your Zoom privileges have been revoked. All right, so outside the plea bargain agreement, the state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 3 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 120 hours of community service restitution, DWI intervention, VIP live, 2 years driver's license suspension, ignition interlock for half the term, and 10 days in the Bexar County Jail. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, Your Honor.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence to support the defendant's plea.
Yes, Your Honor. State offer states Exhibit 1 in all attachments. And Your Honor, I also sent an email to yourself, defense counsel, in the court with the previous judgments for the defendant as well.
All right, any objections?
No objections, Your Honor. And I did receive the email.
All right, Mr. Stewart, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports and judgments? But most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states Exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing states Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Yes, Your Honor. We're asking the court to grant probation. During this time, our client, Mr. Stewart, has represented that he's completed the DWI intervention class, as well as the victim impact live class. He is also, Your Honor, he's a brand new daddy. He's working hard to stay focused on sobriety, as well as being a good parent. And we're asking you to consider that, and if you implement the 10-day jail, to see if the court will permit him to have served that time at home. Whether it's
All right,
partial.
Mr. Stewart, how many children do you have?
I have one daughter that is mine, and I also have a stepdaughter.
Okay, let me just tell you something. The stepdaughter, is she living with you?
Yes.
I don't like when people say, I have one daughter that's mine and a stepdaughter. I have one child that's mine and the other one are stepchildren. Because that child knows when that atmosphere is in the house.
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm hoping that you are treating the children equally with love and not treating one as a stepchild, even if technically people will say she is your stepchild.
Yeah, yes, ma'am. I just meant that legally. I legally have one daughter currently, but I do have another daughter.
All right, so how often do you drink alcohol? Because while you're on this probation, you can't drink alcohol at all.
Well, I'm not drinking alcohol anymore, ma'am.
All right, so here's the thing. I'm sure you probably said that after your first DWI and after your second DWI. But now you should know in no uncertain terms that you are one of the people on the planet who can't drink alcohol.
Yes,
I don't
ma'am.
drink alcohol. The reason why I don't drink alcohol, I don't think it tastes good. I think it tastes nasty, but that's just me. Some people like the taste of alcohol, but you are one of those people who should not be drinking at all. And what ends up happening, I tell people this time and time again on the screen, my statistics professor will be upset with me because I haven't done a real study of it, but it appears that people who drink and drive, when they have accidents, you know who end up getting killed? Other people, they don't. You know who other people
Yes, ma'am.
who end up getting seriously injured? Other people, they don't. So you have this newborn child, you have this other daughter with you. How would you feel someone drinking and driving and then they're on the road and then the next thing you know, there's an accident? Because people, I don't think people intend to get drunk and drive and cause an accident, but when they do, things happen. So I don't think you want drunk drivers on the road when your children are on the road.
That is correct, ma'am.
So don't you be one of those people.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so here's your choice. You can do the 10 days Bexar County Jail on GPS, or either you can do 10 days Bexar County Jail. Which would you prefer?
I'll take the GPS.
All right, and the reason why I'm doing that, because there is a pandemic going on. I know people pretend like it's not, but there is. And I would hate for you to end up going to jail and then coming back and passing something along to your children. Are you employed?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
And what are your hours?
I usually 7 a.m. to about 4 p.m. every day. But I have notified my boss about the possibility of this, so he is aware that I may be on house arrest.
So here's the other thing. You can do a full house arrest on GPS for 10 days, or either you will be allowed to work only on GPS for 30 days. Which would you prefer?
I'll just do the full 10 days, ma'am.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. The court will sentence you to 3 years in prison, suspended and probated for 3 years, $1,500 fine to be probated, 120 hours of community service restitution. 40 of those hours will be waived if you provide proof that you've completed the vaccination, and that means the booster as well. I'm not requiring anyone to get the vaccination. If you don't want to get the vaccination, you don't have to. But if you do, 40 of your hours of community service restitution will be deducted. Ignition interlock half the term, DWI intervention, VIP live, 2-year license suspension, 10 days GPS on full house arrest, proof of employment within 20 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Regular reporting by Zoom or in person. So if you can't report by Zoom, it'll need to be in person.
Yes, ma'am.
And we'll do regular UAs on top of the ignition interlock. Rebecca, is there anything else that he needs?
Were you gonna do field visits, Judge?
Thank you. We'll do field visits, random, one time per month.
What does that mean, Your Honor?
That
Sorry.
someone will be coming to your house to make sure that everything is the way it should be.
Okay.
And the other thing, Mr. Stewart, you're going to need your family to help you with your alcohol issues. So it's probably best that you not have any alcohol in the home at all. You understand?
Yes, ma'am. I'll make that known.
All right. Is there anything else you need from me in order to be successful, Mr. Stewart?
I do have a question too. Would I be allowed to have, a little bit of time to gather the things I need before I get on the house arrest, like one day or something? So I can just get groceries or whatever we need at home?
No, you're going to be on full GPS right away.
Okay.
So as soon as that GPS monitor goes on, which it should go on immediately, you're going to be on full GPS.
Okay. All right.
All right. And as you know, holiday time is a time where people drinking champagne and doing all this extra. You're not allowed to do that, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so Mr. Stewart, we can go off the record. I'm going to need you to just be patient a little bit. There's one more plea that needs to be taken up, and then probation is going to meet you in the breakout room to go over conditions with you, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and I'm going to send you, let me see, where are you? I'm going to send you to breakout room number 2.
Okay.
And probation will be there shortly after I take up this other plea. Javier,
All right.
you can go to breakout room number 2, or either you can be excused.
Thank you, Your Honor. I don't think I'm needed, but if I can be excused, I'll be available if I need to be called back, but if I can be excused.
All right, yes, you're excused. Thank you. Have a great rest of your day.
You too, Your Honor.
Court is calling 2020 CR 2543, State of Texas versus Gordon Chase. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state? Who's on the state on Gordon Chase?
Brittany did the paperwork. I did the deal with Marcus, so it's one of those two, Judge.
Yes, Judge. And I think it's Chase Gordon.
Oh, sorry. Mr. Gordon, you need to correct me if I have your name wrong. So,
Yes, ma'am.
so is it Chase Gordon?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, well, the paperwork is saying Gordon Chase on some of it. Let me just change that.
Alrighty.
And it's just the style of the case. All right, court is calling 2020 CR 2543, State of Texas versus Chase Gordon. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Marcus Sanders.
For the defense?
Ernest Acevedo III for Mr. Chase.
And are you Chase Gordon?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, yes, it's Ernest, you throwing me off.
Yeah, now you got me confused, Judge.
All right.
Not easy. That's not hard to do, though. So
I'm showing you what's entitled defendant's consent to appear by video conference. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you electronically sign it?
yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Next, I'm showing you what's entitled application for deferred adjudication or community supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it, and did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
I have, and we did go over discovery.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Gordon, I'm next going to show you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
No, Judge, we're proceeding on the lesser included robbery offense.
Any objections?
No objections.
Mr. Gordon, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendant's Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with the offense of robbery? That's a second-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years and up to a $10,000 fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Just one moment, please. To the prosecutors, Ms. Cruz is saying that she needs to be in a breakout room with Ms. Sparks, and I think she's went. Okay, back on the record. If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow that plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
He has.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I believe he does.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I do.
Mr. Chase, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to, I'm sorry, Mr. Gordon, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargaining agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Next, I'm showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea bargain agreement, the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of robbery. There's a $1,000 fine. State recommends deferred adjudication. There's to be restitution to Rosemary, Rosemary Martinez, and no contact with Rosemary Martinez. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Judge.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Judge. With one correction, I believe her last name is, or her first name should be IE instead of Y. So Rosemarie.
I'm sorry, what should it be?
Rosemarie. So Marie instead of Mary.
Any objections to the court making a correction to the name in the paperwork, defense?
No objections.
All right, then there's to be restitution and no contact with Rosemary, Rosemary Martinez. Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement. The state is requesting that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 5 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 150 hours of community service restitution in the MRT course. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offense of robbery, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence to support the defendant's plea.
Yes, Judge. State offers States Exhibit 1 and its attachments.
Any objections?
No objections.
Mr. Gordon, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
The court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. The court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. The court has reviewed the documents. The court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
We would ask the court to.
I'm sorry, just one moment, I can't hear you. What did you say?
I said, Judge, we would like to proceed today if the court would allow it, and we would ask you to follow the plea bargain.
All right, anything else you wish to say on behalf of your client?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Gordon, is there anything you wish to say?
No, ma'am.
All right, are you employed?
Not at the moment.
Have you ever been employed?
Yes, ma'am.
Doing what?
Landscaping?
Are there any drug issues?
No, ma'am.
Because if there are, now's the time to tell me, because we'll get you, I'm inclined to follow the agreement and we'll get you whatever help you need so that you can be successful. But if you don't tell me the issues you have, then guess what? I don't know about them and I'm sending you out into the world without the tools you need in order to be successful.
No, understandable, but there's no drug issues.
So why are you doing this?
This was just, oh wait, I'm sorry. What do you mean?
This offense?
Well, at the time there was. But,
Was what?
a lot of alcohol use.
How far did you go in school?
I'm 2 years. Are you talking about high school or college?
No, I mean, did you graduate? What are you been doing?
Yes, ma'am. I go to UTSA.
And what is your major?
I'm going for veterinary, ophthalmology.
All right, so let me explain something to you. In all of these cases, whether there's a conviction or not, any thing that you have, any job that you're seeking that requires a license, this can have a negative impact on that. Not saying that you won't be able to do what you want to do, but just saying that you may have put some obstacles and hurdles in your way. So before you spend all the money on that, you may want to check to see if there's something that you can do to obtain your license if you meet all of the qualifications. You understand?
Understand.
Do you have any children?
Yes, I have a 4-year-old son.
Are you in his life?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you living with him or going to be living with him?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. $1,000 fine, probated, 5 years deferred adjudication, no contact and restitution to Rosemary Martinez, 150 hours community service restitution. 40 of those hours will be waived if you provide proof of your COVID vaccination.
Understood.
Just one moment, please. Could one of the prosecutors send Ms. Cruz, thank you, back on the record? So I'm not forcing anyone to obtain the COVID vaccination, but if you obtain the COVID vaccination, the full regimen, then the court will deduct 40 hours of your community service. The MRT course, I'm going to want field visits 2 times per month, random. Proof of employment within 30 days. There's to be no employment as a home care provider with minors. I'm going to want parenting classes, regular Zoom reporting or in person. So if you can't report by Zoom, it'll need to be in person. Random UAs. And I'll waive the remainder of your community service hours if you obtain your degree.
All righty, thank you.
Rebecca, is there anything else he needs?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Gordon, is there anything else you need from the court in order to be successful?
No, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendants rights to appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we'll go off the record with that. Good luck to you, Mr. Gordon.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
All right, I'm going to send you to a breakout room. Probation will go over conditions with you.
Judge,
If you go to break, yes.
we have a victim who'd like to give us impact statement.
Oh, I am so sorry. Who is that? I see her
Rosemary.
here. All right, Mr. Gordon. In the 187 District Court, I require everyone to treat everyone with respect. So there's someone here who wants to speak to you, and it's the complainant. So internalize what she's saying, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. All right, Miss Martinez, you can unmute yourself.
Thank you very much, Judge.
You're welcome. You may proceed.
Okay. Gordon, I am sorry for everything that you are going through. You made the choice to pull out a gun. All I can do is pray for you. And I know that you have a son. Do right by your child. Find the first church that you can find and just throw yourself into the book and just live your life right. And you're going to see how prosperous you can be, and your child will follow in your footsteps. God bless you, son. And may you have a prosperous life. Do not make any more mistakes.
All right, thank you, Miss Martinez. That was very inspiring. Thank you so much for coming in.
You're welcome. God bless everybody.
Oh, thank you. I see you're at the hospital.
Yes, I have spinal cord injury and I'm getting it taken care of.
All right, well, we're going to be sending prayers for you, okay?
Thank you very much. God
All right,
bless
thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, Mr. Gordon, if you'll go to breakout room number 2, Mr. Acevedo, you can go to number 2, or either you can be excused.
Thank you, Judge.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we're going to take up Julie Pollock. And who is the prosecutor on Louis Moreno?
Judge, I did that paperwork.
Okay. Court is calling 2021 CR 9807, State of Texas versus Louis Philippe Moreno. Can I have the parties announced for the record for the state?
Meredith McIntyre for the state.
For the defense?
Julie Pollock.
And are you Louis Moreno?
Yes, ma'am.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any objection from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Marina, Mr. Marino, I'm showing you what's entitled defendant's consent to appear by video. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Counsel, I'm showing you the discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in this case, and did you review it with your client?
Yes,
Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Marino, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
It is proceeding on the lesser included charge of possession of controlled substance, penalty 1 and an amount less than 1 gram.
Any objection?
No objections.
I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand the state is proceeding on possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, less than 1 gram? That's a state jail felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
Yes, he has.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I believe he does.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I believe he is competent and was legally sane.
Mr. Moreno, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Next, I'm showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney and did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea bargain agreement, the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, less than 1 gram. They're asking that your punishment be assessed at 180 days in the state jail facility. They will take in consideration night mag number 616330. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense is at the plea bargain agreement.
Yes, Your Honor.
State is at the plea bargain agreement.
Yes, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Then to the offense of possession of a controlled substance less than 1 gram, penalty group 1. How do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
State, any evidence to support the defendant's guilty plea?
State offers State's Exhibit 1 and all attachments.
Any objections?
No objections.
Mr. Moreno, I'm showing you what's entitled waiving consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are we proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
We would just ask that you follow the plea bargain.
All right, the court will follow your agreement, sentence you to 180 days in the state jail facility, give you credit for any time served, taking consideration night mag number 66330. Next, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we can go off the record. Mr. Moreno, how old are you?
I'm 31 years old.
All right, so this may seem as though it's a little amount of time, but if you don't change your life, you're going to wake up and find that you spent the majority of your life in and out of custody, and that's not a good place to be. Do you have any children?
Yes, Your Honor.
How old are they?
12 and 10.
Are you in their life?
Not at the moment.
All right, so if you want to be in their life, you're going to have to change your ways. And don't you want to be somebody that your children look up to and want to be like?
Yes, Your Honor.
So in order to do that, you're going to have to change your ways. And part of changing your ways is you can't be using drugs.
Yes, Your Honor.
Because everything that you do impacts your children. Everything that you do, your children are going to want to imitate. You know how children learn to talk? From listening to people around them. So some people think it's cute. I don't think it's cute when children are using profanity. But when they do, you know what that tells me? In their household, that's what people are speaking, and that's what they're learning to use. So you don't want your children to learn to use drugs because dad used drugs. Or by the same token, you don't want them looking down on you because you're not living up to your responsibilities, okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you, Mr. Moreno.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yeah. Have a great rest of your day.
You too.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. You're excused. Thank you for your patience. Have a great rest of your day.
You too.
All right, Derek Edmonds on Mr. Book.
Yes, Judge. Meredith and I have conferred on this case. There's still some discovery that we're lacking. However, I think this is something we're going to get worked out in the next 30 days. Does that sound correct, Meredith?
Yes.
All right, when you say get worked out, what do you mean?
Defense is providing some mitigation evidence, Judge, and I anticipate that we will take care of this in the next 30 days.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 30-day reset on Mr. Book, please?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we're going to come back on January 28th. If there's nothing else, you and your client are excused.
Thank you, Judge. If I don't see you, have a good holiday season.
All right, you too.
Judge, could I jump in and announce on Mr. Medine?
Yes.
He was on the docket this morning.
Yes.
Judge, I've conferred with Marcus. I think we're close to a resolution. I need to kind of go over that with my client.
All right, and when is this going to happen?
He'll come in either next week or the week after. If we can get a
All right.
short reset and a kind of a plea bargain date.
Sure. Ms. Ferguson, on Israel Medine, can we put this the first week in January? Is that good for you, Mr. Martinez?
Yes, Judge.
All right, we're going to come back on January 5th.
Should be fine.
And you and your client are excused.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Israel, you're good to go, buddy.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and then in the courtroom, who do we have?
Judges Fernando Cortez for Jonathan Trevino, who's logged on.
Okay, just one moment.
And if the court can just kind of let us know which one of the cases does not have the discovery acknowledgement, because I think I signed 2, but I'm not sure which ones don't have it.
All right, let me check. Okay, I don't have the discovery acknowledgement in 2021 CR 6414. And I don't have it in 2021 CR 9359. Yes, I don't have the discovery acknowledgement in any of these files. So do you know when the discovery was signed off of?
We must have made 5 appearances on this case already, Judge, and I thought I had already signed at least 2 of these things.
Okay.
That didn't happen. If I could just get the Assistant District Attorney in charge of these cases to send these things to me, please?
Sure. And so other than the court receiving the discovery acknowledgement, you have all your discovery, is that correct?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, and then has an offer been tendered in all of these cases?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, so Ms. Ferguson, can I have a 30-day reset on Trevino to give him his plea deadline date? All right, so we're going to come back on, Fernando, we're going to come back on January 27th. That will be your client's plea deadline date. So if he doesn't want to accept any plea at that time, then the next setting will be his jury trial date. And he can appear by Zoom on that day.
Yes, Your Honor. And do I need to reach out to the Assistant DA just to make sure that we have the discovery acknowledgement document signed? Because I know that it's critically important before we go to trial that is submitted. And I want to
Yes.
get that resolved.
Do you know which prosecutor you were conferring with?
I'm sorry, Judge, I have the memory of a chicken and I'm certain I'm insulting chickens. I do not remember.
Okay, they tell me that chickens have good memories. Brenda, I was watching the show and they actually had a chicken on there that could play a piano.
I said I'll probably be insulting chickens. I'm insulting chickens.
All right, so what we're gonna do, I'm gonna put in the chat box to the prosecutors to send that to you.
Thank you very much, Your Honor.
All right, and if there's nothing else, you and your client are excused.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. Okay, anyone else is ready?
I'm ready, Judge.
Well, just one moment. I'm going to take up the plea on San Diego, and then I'll take up your matter, Mr. Leal.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm
Ms.
gonna
Cruz,
go,
has all the
finish my-
paperwork been signed?
hopefully, yes, Your Honor. I'm really hoping.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Let me
fish him
put-
out.
All right, let me put you in the breakout room. If you go back to breakout room number 4, and if the clerks could go number 4 to make sure that all the paperwork is done on Mr. Samaniego. And then we'll take that up.
Judge, I sent you 2 emails.
All right, thank you. So where is he now, Ms. Ferguson?
I guess he's in the 379 maybe.
All right, let's see if we can get him here because He was on Zoom when I told him to come back today.
Oh, I know.
So yes, so if you could let him know he needs to be here on Zoom.
Okay.
Thank you. Mr. Fox?
Yes, Judge, I'm back on Deshandra McAfee.
Yes.
I've conferred with the state. There's a mitigation packet that I would like to get to them. There's some medical records that I'd like them to see. My client is in process of making all of those requests to get those records. So at this time, I'd like to request a reset to January. I think that would give me enough time. Maybe mid-January would give us enough time for us to get all that together for the state.
All right, Ms. Ferguson on McAfee, can I have a 30-day reset, please?
Oh, and thank you, Judge, for allowing us to be recalled. I got stuck in Atascosa County, but I got my client MTR withdrawn. So it's a good morning.
Oh, well, I'm glad. All right, so we're going to come back on January 27th.
Sounds good, Judge. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great rest of your day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, it seems like it's taking longer than anticipated on that plea. So are the parties ready on Ibarra?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Then we're going to go back on the record on 2019 CR 10445. A motion to revoke hearing. And I believe Mr. Raphael Leal, you were questioning a witness.
Yes, Your Honor, the officer, probation officer.
All right, was it Mr. Valadez?
Right, yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Valadez.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Valadez,
You may proceed.
What has my client done? Has he done like community service or anything? If you know?
For Mr. Ibarra, if he's done any community service,
Right.
there's no community service that was not part of his conditions.
Oh, okay. And so what else he needed to do besides reporting?
He needed to get his GPS device installed. I mean, he needed to get his GPS. He needed to pay his fees.
Okay.
And continue with his monthly UAs.
Okay.
Provide proof of residence.
All right. And when was the last time that you met with him, you mentioned? Was that in June of 2021?
I believe his last report was June 15th, 2021.
Okay. And is it your understanding that there was an agreement for SAP or STF or one of those programs?
Yeah, when he was granted probation on December 2019, he signed the conditions for him to participate in the state ISF, and if he wasn't approved to go into SATF.
SATF? Okay. And do you know how long that is?
During that time, the pandemic had hit, so everything was kind of like in limbo. They didn't know what the process was going to be due to COVID-19. And then we received an email on June 14th to stop all jail visits from our administrative staff.
So how long does he have to, how long is the program nowadays?
It's about 90 to 180 days, almost 6 months.
So 3 to 6 months?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then there is a waiting period for a bed, is there?
Yes, they're usually in jail waiting for a treatment bed. That's correct.
Do you know how long that is?
Usually between 6 to 9 weeks, depending on the availability. Sometimes it's sooner than that. But like I said, due to COVID-19, it delayed a lot of the process.
Are there any of those delays continuing at the present time?
At this time, it's a little bit more streamlined. I think they got their processes a little better due to, we're still going through the pandemic. Like Judge has mentioned earlier, it's still going on. So they're still taking precautions, and it is taking about 6 to 9 weeks at this time.
Okay. Did he also make an attempt to do drug court?
I think drug court, the referral, I think it was denied. I can't recall.
Okay. And to your knowledge, did he show you proof of employment in that when you met him?
At the time that he reported, yes, he said he was working for air mechanical company, And at the time when you reported, he didn't have an email. And his boss was nice enough to email me to confirm his proof of employment.
Okay. Pass the witness, Your Honor.
All right, any further questions from the state?
Judge, I believe most of it was covered yesterday, but just briefly. Mr. Valdez, just to clarify, did Mr. Ibarra report to you in June of 2020?
No, he did not.
Did he report to you in February, May, July, or August of 2021?
Did you say he failed to report?
Did he fail to report?
Yes, he did.
And did he ever provide proof of residence to you during his time on probation?
At the very beginning, yes, but our process is normally every 3 months to find out where the defendant lives, to give us an update.
And did he give that update?
No, he did not.
And did he ever show you proof that he obtained the GPS device as ordered?
No, he did not.
No further questions, Your Honor.
I have a couple of questions, Judge.
Yes.
Well, did he tell you that, or did you ask him whether or not he had changed his address? Or
I'm sorry?
did he tell you that he had changed his address?
No, but we always require a proof of residence.
Did you
Every
ask
3
him,
months.
did you ask him whether or not he still resided at the same address?
He did say he still lived there, but we still needed proof that he was currently living at that address.
Well, he had provided to you that before, is that correct?
Over a year ago.
All right. Now, what is your recommendation concerning Mr. Ibarra?
What is my recommendation for him not providing proof of residence?
No. What is your recommendation to the court concerning Mr. Ibarra?
Oh, okay. Give me 1 second. So our recommendation was to alter main conditions for SATIF followed by aftercare. And the tap was completed. And the tap did recommend SATIF.
Also, witness.
All right, anything else from the state?
None, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. State, any other witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
All right, defense, any witnesses?
Call Juan Antonio Ibarra to stand, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Ibarra, if you could raise your right hand for me, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? You need to you can lower your hand, and I need you to unmute. If you'll hold down the space bar, it will unmute you. Hold it down. All right, do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you need to hold the space bar down. Hold it down. Do not let it up. Now, do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, state your name for the record, please.
Juan Antonio Ibarra.
All right, defense?
Mr. Ibarra, you were placed on probation, deferred adjudication probation back on December the 10th, 2019. And that was for a period of 6 years. Did you have a problem understanding that at the time?
No, sir.
Then you sign standard conditions of probation, among which there was a requirement for you to attend SATF. That was held in abeyance. Did you know that that the program, because of the pandemic, did you know that the program had been stopped for the moment?
The pandemic wasn't even going on yet. I signed for this on December, and then they thought I was gonna get released because they had waived all all the things on December. They had waived all those things. And I never got released from jail or I could start, because I had the paperwork saying that I was going to be released to start probation on December the 10th. And it never did happen. I was kept in jail till May the 8th.
Well,
2020.
Did anybody tell you that
And the GPS and all that, they were all waived too. Everything had been waived and all that. And after that, when I went back to court on May the 8th, they released me from jail. My lawyer, Scott Simpson, who was my lawyer then, he had asked the judge if, since I was kept there still in jail for a while, if I could get like time served for the case, and the judge had granted time served, and that was the only thing I had just by work through Zoom. And I
let me
never-
ask you this. Oh, stop. Let me ask you this. On May the 8th of 2020, did you go back to court or were you before the court in person or by Zoom concerning your any modifications to the conditions of your deferred adjudication?
No, I was in jail. I was still in custody, and we did it through Zoom at that time.
But was it on May the 8th?
I think it was sometime in May. I remember. Because I wrote a letter to my court appointed, and I had asked them why was I still in jail, because I had signed for.
Did your lawyer tell you that Sarif had been held in abeyance?
No, sir. No, nobody. No, sir. Nobody had told me nothing about that or nothing. I wrote because it was already almost going to be 6 months when I was still in jail.
What was your understanding on May the 8th, 2020?
That my probation, my attorney had asked the judge if, since I was already had 4 months in jail already before, and then another 6 months, it was almost going to be a year, and I was sentenced like maybe to 2 years in state jail, and if you could take and grant the time served, and I just remember she did grant it. She said, "I'll take that in consideration, and I'll grant time served for the case and all that." And that was the only thing I had in thing. And then when I came out of jail, it was on the weekend. When I got out on a Saturday, I called the probation officer to let him know that they had granted a time served, and he said he only had the paperwork from December the 10th. That was the only paperwork he had from December 10th, the 10th from 2019. And he told me that for me to get all the paperwork, and I told him, well, I'll try to get it because, got to get a house and everything. And I started working. And I started working back with that company, and we were so busy that I didn't have time to get some paperwork, but I figured he would get it. And the time that he says that I didn't report in June, I did report because he gave me the month.
Let me stop you right there, okay? If you misunderstood that the court had already granted you time served, why were you continuing to report for probation?
Because I figured I didn't want to get in trouble with anything in any sorts. I was just waiting for him to try to get the paperwork, but he asked me to get it. And I think that's part of his job, for him to get the paperwork. And the only paperwork he kept on telling me was the one for December 10th. And I told him, well, you should at least get the paperwork for a date, because, I'll keep reporting.
Let me ask you this question. Did you try to get in touch with your prior lawyer to clarify this for you?
No, sir. But I just gave him the name of my lawyer, and he said, well, I'll try to get it, and I'll try to get the court. And every month, like for about 5-6 months, he kept on telling me that he hadn't gotten no paperwork from the court system and nothing like that. And I just kept saying, well, how come they can't give you no paperwork? They should have everything. What happened that day on May the 8th, and you should have by now at least have paperwork.
Okay. as part of the conditions of your deferred adjudication, the court ordered the substance abuse treatment facility, okay, for 180 days. So that's already passed and been ordered. But your misunderstanding was because that was granted in December and you kept waiting until May of next year. Was that the cause of the misunderstanding?
I believe so, sir.
Okay. Pass the witness.
State.
Yes, Judge. Mr. Ibarra, I want to clarify a few things. I had some trouble following along. Let's just start off in May of 2020. That's when you were released from Bear County Jail, right?
I don't really recall that. I know it was in May, but I don't remember. It was on a Friday when they called me to court. And I was in the main jail when they called me to the court. And that's when the lawyer, I hadn't even talked to my lawyer again. I just wrote him a letter because I told him something was going to be 6 months being here incarcerated. I had already been there for 4 months before that, before I had signed for probation. And I told him if something was going to be the 2 years, if I would have done state jail the whole year. And he said that he.
And Mr. Ibarra, let me cut you off there. My answers are very simple. It's just a yes or a no. If you want to clarify, Mr. Leal can help with that, but I'm just trying to get things in order. During this time, you were the one, this is when you were released from Bear County Jail, right? Is that
Yes.
around May 2020?
Yes. Yes, sir.
Okay.
That was a year, yeah.
Okay. And I believe during direct examination with your attorney, you stated that you believe that Judge Boyd granted you time served for this sentence?
Well, I do remember that she did told Scott Simpson, my lawyer, I'll go ahead and grant it time served, and that was it. And I never received no paperwork or nothing like that. But I just read the papers from December the 9th, the 10th. That way I could just clarify that I came out of jail to the probation officer to find out that he got the paperwork from there.
All right, Mr. Leal, so is that a yes? You believe that you were granted time served?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and as you stated, you believe that even though you didn't receive any type of paperwork or speak to the judge?
Yeah, I did speak to the judge that day. We went to court on Zoom that day.
Okay, so your testimony is you spoke to Judge Boyd and she gave you time served for this case?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let me ask, and your attorney went over this, even though you believe you were granted time served for this case and it was closed, you continued to report to probation.
I just called the probation officer because I didn't have a phone right that day when I came out the weekend. So I just told my daughter, I had tried to get reach of him, but I left him a message and all that because I was using the neighbor's phone at that time. Then I called my daughter and told her, tried to tell him that, they gave me time served and this and that. But he said that the only paperwork he had was from December the 10th. And he said for me to get the paperwork. And when I got arrested this last time, I was there at the courthouse when I was trying to get the paperwork. But I was busy trying to get a home and I couldn't go to my dad's house or anything like that.
Mr. Ibarra, let me interrupt you, please. You're trying to say a lot of things at once and I'm losing you in a response. My questions again are just a yes or no. You continue to report to probation even though you thought you had a judgment satisfied, right?
Yes, sir.
And you continue to report. Let me finish. You continue to report throughout the rest of the year of 2020.
Yes, sir.
And into 2021, you also reported during some time in 2021, right?
Yes, sir.
And in 2021, as probation officer stated, you were giving UAs, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and were you taking drugs during this time?
No, sir.
No, sir. So if the probation, let me finish. If the probation officer stated in his testimony that you were positive for meth, that UA is incorrect?
Yes, sir. Because there was another Juan Ibarra, and he would always give me a mistaken with that Juan Ibarra. And every time I would try to call him, I would have trouble getting to Zoom. And he would tell me, well, hold on, you're Juan Ibarra? And I would go, yes, sir, I'm Juan Ibarra. And he goes, well, I'm talking to a Juan Ibarra right now. And when I would always go take the UAs throughout the whole year I went, you know, I would ask my boss to go take UAs and all that. And I would come out clean and all that. But I started noticing that the SIT number or the paper for the donor UA wouldn't even match mine or anything like that, like for my SIT number. And I tried.
Okay, so you also thought you needed to take UAs even though your case was closed out, as you said you believe.
So he never would give me he never got me the paperwork or nothing like that, sir. And I never tried to get reached because I would work late till about 7 o'clock in the evening, 6 o'clock in the evening at the other job. And I was just constantly working, you know, trying to make myself a living and all that. And I had my own place and everything. And I was just working and working. And I was just going through and I said, well, I got to make time for this because, you know, I'm trying to do two things at once, you know, go take UAs, miss work and all that for one day, just to go take a UA early in the morning. I couldn't go back to work because, you know, they would leave to a different job site and I was.
All right, Mr. Ibarra, thank you. No further questions, Judge.
All right, any other questions from the defense? All right, then defense, call your next witness.
I just have a couple of other questions for Mr. Ibarra.
Okay, thank you.
Mr. Ibarra,
yes, sir.
When you came out of jail, May 2020, where did you go live?
I was staying with a friend like for about 2 weeks at the latest, and then I had reported that I was staying there, and the lady would talk Spanish, right? And she.
Well, did you inform your
yes, sir, the probation
officer about that address?
Yes, sir. I gave him the address and everything.
Did you provide proof of address?
He had went by there to look for me and everything. It was a motor street, but when I got my ID, that's when I had gotten the other places where I was living.
Did you move from that address elsewhere?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Did you provide that
yes, sir,
another proof of change of address?
Yes, sir. I got my Texas ID and everything. And I would send them the picture of my ID every month. My boss would do it for me because I would have trouble send the emails and all that. I didn't know how to.
What kind of proof did you provide?
Texas ID and the check stub of employment.
Did you have your new address on your Texas ID?
Yes, sir. 3835 Westwood Long.
So how come you did not get the GPS device as were?
Because they had waived all that, sir. In December, they had waived all that.
Did you know?
I had told him that they had waived all that, and then he had even told me like a month later, he goes,
Who told you that they have waived the GPS?
The court. I had the paperwork there. Everything was
waived
waived.
The fees, not the GPS. Did you know that?
Well, the papers at the end, when I got to court, they had waived, the judge had waived everything on December 10th. And I had told the probation officer, and he said, yeah, you're correct. They waived all the fees and the setup and all that. He had told me that.
How long have you been incarcerated?
Right now, like going on 2 months.
2 months?
Yes, sir.
Do you have a place to stay if you were to be released?
Yes, sir.
Where at?
I was gonna go back to my dad's house.
Okay. And what about a job?
Yes, sir. I was doing a roofing job before I got incarcerated for this old man that he's 80-something years old. I do like subcontracting on my own, and I was helping painting apartments with a friend of mine. I would go paint apartments and all that. And
do you believe that you have a substance abuse problem?
No, sir.
Was a substance abuse involved in the original offense of bodily injury to the elderly?
We were drinking that time. Alcohol, yes, sir, that's it.
What about methamphetamine or any other?
No, sir.
No?
Right, so can we focus everyone on the fact that what he's here for is there's a violation of condition number 5 that he didn't report. There's a violation of condition number 9A that he didn't provide proof of residence, and a violation of condition number 21 that he didn't maintain the GPS accident. So anything else would go towards mitigation. We're not at that point yet. We're just here to decide, or the court to decide, whether or not he violated condition number 5, 9A, and 21. So are there any questions related to violation of condition number 5, 9A, or 21?
What's the witness, Judge?
All right, thank you. Any other witnesses, defense?
No, Your Honor.
All right, the court is finding violation of condition 5 true, 9A true, and 21 true. State, what are you requesting?
Judge, we're requesting revocation, adjudication and revocation in this case, in a sentence term of 4 years. I think it's apparent that Mr. Ibarra isn't willing to take responsibility for being on probation. I don't know if he was just trying to confuse the issues or the court of what's going on, but it was clear that he was on probation and he was reporting, but he's giving testimony that he didn't know. He thought the case was closed out. So for those reasons, we're asking for revocation.
All right, defense, what are you requesting?
What I'm requesting, Judge, is to follow the original conditions to get Mr. Ibarra to safety and then continue him back on probation.
All right, the court will grant the motion, find you guilty. Your range of punishment is up to 10 years in the prison. The court will sentence you to 4 years TDC, give you credit for any time served. There's an affirmative finding of family violence. There should be no contact with George Ibarra or 227 Joe Blanks in San Antonio, Texas, 78237. Mr. Ibarra, you were placed on deferred adjudication on December 10th, 2019. The court placed you on 6 years deferred adjudication. The court made orders. The court continued to monitor you to make sure that you were not forgotten, because the court had wanted you to do felony drug court. If not, you were to be accepted. If you were not accepted, then it was to be ISF or SATA, whichever one was quicker. Then we came back on May 8th. The court altered and amended your conditions to include GPS, deferred the fees, did scram, and you were to provide weekly reporting by phone or Zoom. Then we came back on November 16th because you violated your conditions. And then we were set here for a contested hearing. Next, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it, Mr. Ibarra? Right, you do have a limited right to appeal. That right to appeal is as it relates to the violations in your deferred adjudication. It does not relate to the fact that you were on deferred adjudication. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Because there's an affirmative finding of family violence, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
We can go off the record. Mr. Ibarra, I give people chances to hopefully improve their life, but you just didn't follow through. So good luck to you, Mr. Ibarra. You're gonna have to change your ways. If you want, I can ask that you be placed in a therapeutic community at the prison. It's completely up to you.
Your Honor, I did try to change my ways and everything. And, you know, I got my grandkids and everything that I love a lot. I miss my dad. I haven't seen him for 2 years because I was placing all that. And I was doing everything that I could, but, I never got proof of that I was still in probation, but I did for prorated in those days. I would call my probation officer and let him know, like on February, that time it snowed and everything.
Okay, so here's the thing, Mr. Ibarra, I tell everyone this, and I think everyone realizes that in this court, in the 187 District Court, if there is an issue, people can always come to me. My probation officer has sent plenty of people to me before for compliance hearings. I always do compliance hearings if it's appropriate before even having probation file a motion. And when probation sends me motions for revocation, I look at it and see if I want to have a compliance hearing first to get that person's attention. So I've done all those things with you. And at some point in time, Mr. Ibarra, there's nothing else the court can do. I can't force somebody to take the help that I'm offering. You just have to be in the state of mind to want to do that. So with that being said, Norma, can you let them know that Mr. Ibarra can go back? Mr. Ibarra, good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Mr. Leal. All right, Mr. Valadez, you are excused.
Thank you, Judge. Have a happy
Thank you.
holiday, but I won't see you then.
Thank you, you too.
Bye-bye.
All right, are we ready on Samaniego? Ms. Cruz?
What room is Eduardo in, Judge?
I'm sorry?
What room is Eduardo in?
Eduardo has not left. He was in room, he's in room number 3.
Okay.
All right, and Tony Hernandez, I've been chatting you in the chat box. Okay.
Judge, I'm not in room number 3. I'm in the main room. Does Tom want me to join him in room number 3?
Yes.
I did respond, Judge.
All right, thank you.
I'm sorry. You were in your hearing. It took me a while.
Yeah, so I'm like, look.
I apologize, Judge. I didn't think that would be happening. So.
Excuse me, Judge.
Yeah, Judge, I think that we just need a couple of weeks and we can resolve everything. I just need
All
to
right,
get.
who is that in red throwing gang signs? Who is that?
No, Judge, he's just trying to get my
I'm not
attention.
throwing gang signs. I'm trying to get your attention, Judge. I'm sorry. I'm not
He's my
throwing gang
client,
signs. I'm
Judge.
trying to get your attention.
Okay, just 1 second. What is your client's name?
Benjamin Williams, Judge.
Mr. Hernandez.
Just hold tight, okay? And put your mask back on, please.
I would like to speak to you for a second before you speak to the judge.
Okay.
Oh, well, I think your client wants to speak to you before we do anything, Mr. Hernandez.
Okay, I can go back to him.
All right, I'll send you to breakout room number 3.
Thank you, Judge.
I'm sorry, number 4.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. All right, Samaniego. Who's the prosecutor?
Judge, I helped do the paperwork so I can do it.
Okay.
It was a team effort. There is one correction that needs to be made on the evading with the vehicle paperwork based on a discussion that was had this morning.
Okay. And what correction are we making to the paperwork?
Well, originally he was going to plea on one particular state jail and ended up switching that. And so on the current box and the causes taken into consideration box, there's a change in the numbers.
Okay.
On the concurrent with box, it should be 2020 CR 2125.
Okay.
And then on the causes taken into consideration, instead of the 2125, it's going to be 2020 CR 3299.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
All right. The court is calling 2020 CR 2125 and 2021 CR 8751, State of Texas versus Patrick Samaniego. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Meredith McIntyre
for the defense.
Raymond Martinez.
Are you Patrick Samaniego?
Yes, ma'am.
And each of the cause numbers, we're proceeding by video. Any objection from the state?
No, Your Honor.
Any objections from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Samaniego, on each of these cause numbers, I'm showing you what's entitled defendant's consent to appear by video. Did you review those documents with your attorney? Did you understand them? Did you electronically sign them?
Yes, I did.
Counsel, on each of these cause numbers, I'm showing you what's entitled discovery acknowledgement. Have you received all the discovery in each of these cause numbers, and did you review those with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
In each of the cause numbers, the court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. In cause number 2021 CR 8751, Mr. Samaniego, showing you what's entitled application for community supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
In each of the cause numbers, I'm showing you what's entitled true bill of indictment. Did you review those documents with your attorney? Did you understand them?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, in each of the cause numbers, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
Stating cause number 2020 CR 2125, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Your Honor, I believe in that one. I don't remember, but if there is an enhancement paragraph, I believe we are waiving that.
Right, there's no enhancement paragraph.
Okay, so we are, Judge.
And in cause number 2021 CR 8751, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
And on that one, we would be proceeding on count one, waiving at the other counts as well as the enhancement paragraph.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Samaniego, in cause number 2020 CR 2125, you're charged with the offense of theft 2,500 to 30,000. In 2021 CR 8751, you're charged with the offense of evading arrest, detention of vehicle. The range of punishment for evading arrest, detention with the vehicle is anywhere from 2 to 10 years and up to a $10,000 fine. The range of punishment with theft 2,500 to 30,000 is anywhere from 180 days up in the state jail facility and up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And each of the cause numbers, if you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
In each of the cause numbers, you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call, and the right to remain silent. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement in each of these cause numbers, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in each of these cause numbers?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, in each of these cause numbers, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He has.
In each of the cause numbers, do you believe your client has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do.
In each of the cause numbers, do you believe your client is currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Off the record, Mr. Langlois and Mr. Bont, I need you to go to breakout room number 1, please, and confer. Back on the record, Mr. Samaniego, in each of the cause number, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea?
No, ma'am.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter the plea?
No, ma'am.
In each of the cause numbers, are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
In each of the cause numbers, are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
In each of the cause numbers, the court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. In each of the cause numbers, I'm showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review those pages with your attorney? Did you understand them?
Yes, ma'am.
In cause number 2020 CR 2125, the state is requesting that your punishment be assessed at 180 days in the state jail facility, and there are no applications. In cause number 2021 CR 8751, state is requesting to proceed on count 1, waiving count 2, an enhancement allegation. Punishment to be assessed at 10 years in the prison. There's a $1,500 fine. State recommends community supervision. This will run concurrent with 2020 CR 2125. State will take in consideration 2020 CR 3299, 2020 CR 3298. There's to be restitution in 2020 CR 3299 to Joe Arriaga, ARRIAGA. And in 2020 CR 2125, there's restitution of $350 to Tracy, TRACIE, Remington, REMINGTON. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement in each of those cause numbers?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
It is, Your Honor. We also have an agreement to run both of those cases concurrent with this case out of Guadalupe County. I have the cause number if the court's ready.
Yes, what is the cause number?
19-0575-CR.
Wait, I'm sorry, repeat that. I'm not Brenna.
Okay.
19
19-0575-CR-C.
All right. And then is that the entirety of the plea bargain agreement, Mr. Martinez?
It is, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal in each of these cause numbers. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Next, I'm showing you outside the plea bargain agreement in cause number 2021 CR 8751. State is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 10 years. There'll be a top evaluation, 120 hours of community service restitution, and regular UAs. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offense and cause number 2020 CR 2125. How do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
And in cause number 2021 CR 8751 to count one, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? You're on mute.
Hello?
Yes, in cause
sorry.
number 2021 CR 8751, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence to support the defendant's plea in either of those cause numbers.
State offers States Exhibit 1 and all attachments for
Any
each.
objections?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Samaniego, in each of these cause numbers, I'm showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review those documents with your attorney? Did you understand them? Did you electronically sign them in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
In each cause numbers, the court will find that the defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence States Exhibits 1 and attachments in each cause number and review the same. All right, each of the cause numbers, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty in each cause number. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
No, Your Honor, we're going to request a continuance so that for a couple of reasons. Number one, Mr. Samaniego needs to enter a plea in Guadalupe County because it appears like our case, he finally reached a resolution. Secondly, we need to coordinate his jail credit to figure out how much time he's going to get credited for, and because I think he's going to have to serve part of his sentence in Guadalupe as well. So we're asking for mid to late January to get all that accomplished.
All right, in this case, the theft case, that would not be a judgment satisfied. Is that correct?
It is not, Judge, and that's part of the reason I have to do some calculations on his time.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can I have a date in January to come back on sentencing for Mr. Samaniego, please? I'm sorry, Mr. Samaniego. I know I keep mispronouncing your name like every time. You're
It's
probably
okay.
wondering, how can someone mispronounce a name 10 different ways? But I'm working on it.
No worries. No worries at all.
All right, we're going to come back on January 24th. Mr. Martinez, is there a need for a TAP evaluation?
I don't believe so, Judge, but I can tell you that I think that's going to be addressed on the probation in Guadalupe as well. So, and just to refresh the court's memory, Sam Locke is his lawyer over there, so I wanted to give him time to take care of it.
All right, Ms. Reyes, we're going to do a TAP evaluation.
Yes, I am tap.
Yes.
Perfect.
All right, I'm going to send you to breakout room number 2, Mr. Samaniego. Again, mispronunciation, Brenna. All right, so if you'll go to number 2, probation will give you everything, all the information you need. And then the other case you have, Mr. Martinez, is Saul Jaime.
Judge, County Court 13 canceled their docket, so we were not able to get that plea done. Once his plea is done in 13, then your case was going to be resolved. I'm not sure when we're going to get that done. 13 is almost as busy as 187.
Who is 13?
Rosie Gonzalez.
All right, so did they give you a date or a time?
Let me check, Judge. All I know is like the message I got this morning was that 13 was canceled. I don't know that they gave us their date, but I can double check.
All right.
I don't think so, Judge. I'm sorry. I don't think so.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can you recall Saul Jaime for the first week in January, please?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to come back on that on January 5th.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
If I get it resolved sooner, I'll let the court know.
All right, thank you. And you can either go to the breakout room with your client or either you can be excused.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. All right, Tony Hernandez. On
Yes.
Mr. Williams.
Yeah, I explained everything to Mr. Williams. Yeah, we're just asking for a couple of weeks so I can run by the jail and meet with him in person and just discuss everything and review everything with him. And I think we'll have a resolution to all 3 cases.
All right, Norma, on Mr. Williams, can we set this also on January 5th?
Judge, I'm out till the 10th.
Okay.
You can either do it before the 1st or after the 10th.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, can we take care of this after the 10th? All right, we'll set it for the 12th.
Thank you, Judge. May we be excused?
Yes. Bye, Mr. Williams. Have a great rest of your day.
You too, Judge.
Thank you.
You too, man. Merry Christmas too. Happy New Year.
Oh, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to you too, and Happy Festivus.
Yes, ma'am. And all that good stuff.
All right. Thank you. Bye-bye. Have a good one. All right, you're welcome. All right, so there's a request from the defense to allow Mr. Curtis to spend the holidays with his mom. Any objection? You're all on mute.
I'm up here.
We don't object.
Defense doesn't object, prosecutor doesn't object.
Judge, state does not object to the motion to travel. My understanding, obviously subject to ability to have him accountable to the address and post. My understanding is that he may be able to still maintain the monitor the court has ordered. If not, if the court could require the ability for his for him to still be monitored and accountable, but I
All right,
couldn't.
is Mr. Curtis here in the courtroom or no? Or is he at home still? Who's in the courtroom? Is that Mr. Curtis, Brenna? All right. All right, so Mr. Bond, Mr. Langlois,
Yes,
if you
Judge.
want to let your client know, or if you can get your client to zoom in, that he is going to be on GPS and he'll be at his mother's house. And he says that he's going to be there from December 23rd to 27th. Is it the court's understanding is he's going to be staying there for those days?
Yes, Judge.
All right, so stress to him that he's not to leave from that location. If there's nothing else, since it's agreed, you all are all excused.
Thank you, Judge. Have a good day.
All right, you all too.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. You guys have a good one. Oh, Mr. Harris, I think you probably need to speak with Deputy Laura. You and Mr. Spears, I believe you owed her something and it wasn't given to her.
Lord.
Waiting. I am waiting.
Deputy, I will make arrangements with you.
Okay. All right, you all are excused. Have a great one. If I don't see you all, have a happy holidays. I say holidays to cover everything. So that includes Christmas, Festivus for the rest of us. Although, Brent, I don't fit in the rest of us, but I try to celebrate it all.
Her Honor, bringing out the greatest hits.
Okay. All right, you all have a good one. Thank you for
Thank you,
zooming.
Judge. You have a good holiday too.
All right, thank you. Bye-bye.
And a Merry Christmas.
Oh, thank you. And Richard, be sure to get your dog his Christmas presents to unwrap.
What?
I said, be sure to get your dog his Christmas present to unwrap.
Oh, well, I have 2 dogs now.
Oh, well, you need to double the Christmas presents.
Well, we have a brand new baby, but it hasn't come to the office yet.
All right, have a good one.
All right, Judge.
All right, so who is the person in the courtroom?
Ms. Garrison, Your Honor.
All right, if she can come up, please.
Right in front where the arrows are at and just face forward.
Ms. Garrison?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you know you are not allowed to be in a bra on Zoom. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am. It wasn't a bra. It was actually a spaghetti strap shirt. I actually tried to run and go use the restroom real quick because I had gotten wet when it was raining outside. And so I was actually trying to change my shirt, but I had set the phone down and that's when y'all called my name. So I hurried up and picked up.
All right, so here's the thing. That was a bra. You're not allowed to wear bras on Zoom. If you got wet and you need to do something else, all you had to do was say, may I step away to change? We do not change on Zoom. We do not show bras on Zoom. I'm sure some of us, I mean, I would love to be in shorts, but I don't do that because it's not allowed. Because if I were to do that, what would you be saying about the judge in this court? Or if I were to be on Zoom just wearing a bra, what would you say about the judge in this court? It's just not allowed. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
So here's the thing. How did you get downtown today? Did you take an Uber or Lyft or the bus?
No, I had actually had one of my family members.
See, you put a family member through all of this trauma of having to drive downtown. And I'm sure either they find a parking space or they're double parked right now, praying that the person who gives tickets for parking doesn't give them a ticket. Don't let this happen again, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Ms. Ferguson, on Ms. Garrison, can I have a 30-day reset, please? Well, I'm sorry, not a 30-day reset, because she was actually here for a trial setting and an attorney couldn't make it back. Can you recall this for the, yes?
We gave him a trial date of February
8th. All right. I'm still gonna want that on the record with, well, not on the record, but I want her attorney present when I give her that date. Can you recall this for the beginning of the year, Ms. Ferguson?
Yes, ma'am, I can do it for the 5th.
All right, so we're gonna come back on the 5th. You're gonna have one more shot at Zoom. If you do anything appropriate on Zoom, your Zoom privileges are gonna be permanently revoked. You understand?
It won't happen again, Your Honor.
All right. So what's gonna happen? They're telling me.
I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to be disrespectful or showing off my goodies or anything like that.
I appreciate your apology. And your apology is.
That's why I was like, oh Lord, I was like, oh man, like I wasn't trying to be disrespectful or anything. I was just trying to hurry up because you
Ms.
had
Garrison.
said,
Ms. Garrison.
Yes, ma'am.
Your apology is accepted.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna come back on January 5th. You're gonna be by Zoom. And on that day, I'm gonna give you what your jury trial date is, okay?
Yes, ma'am, January the 5th.
Yes, and you'll be allowed to be on Zoom.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Y'all have a happy holidays.
All right, you too. Bye-bye.
Judge, can I say in a breakout room really quick, please?
Yes. You want to meet in number 1?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Rowley? Can you unmute?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, your attorney is currently in a jury trial. So what's going to end up happening is your case is going to be reset. However, your attorney is going to talk with attorneys for the state once he gets a break to see about a bond reduction for you. And if they come to an agreement sometime at night, I always have my computer with me. So I'll be able to sign any agreement that they may have on your bond reduction, okay?
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, you're welcome. Norma, can you let them know Ms. Rowley can go back?
Yes, ma'am.
And then Mr. Winters, we're getting an attorney appointed for you right now. The system has been sort of on the fritz. So just give us a moment. And Eduardo Jimenez.
Yes, Judge, I'm here.
Yes, what is happening with Mr. Moxley?
He is going to take a plea bargain for time, Your Honor.
Okay. And then what is happening with Mr. Vega?
Well, let me back up a second on Mr. Moxley. Would I need the sort of appeal and the video conference permission from the court?
Yes.
Okay. And that's on Moxley. And then Mr. Vega is going to trial, Your Honor.
Okay. And is Mr. Vega in custody?
Yes, he is, Your Honor.
Is he in a breakout room?
I don't know.
I talked to you about Mr. Vega earlier. About, oh, hold on.
Just a moment.
Judge, I send you a text message.
Thank you. I'm so sorry. I forgot about that. Mr. Jimenez, Mr. Vega was sent back because Mr. Vega was on email looking at nude photos or searching for nude photos of celebrities.
Oh,
So
boy.
he's been sent back. Ms. Ferguson, what's the jury trial date?
February 8th.
All right, so we're going to have jury trial on February 8th. If there's some issues with your client being dressed for trial as far as the exchange is not going well, just let us know.
Okay, Judge, I will. Yeah, I already have nouns on the 8th, so that's good. And then just need to type this Mr. Moxley's case here.
Okay, thank you.
Could I, will I be sent this sort of appeal in the video conference form?
Yes, Ms. Ferguson will send that to you.
And then if I could go into a breakout room with him because I've already signed my paperwork on my side. I just need to walk him through the process on his side.
All right, Mr. Moxley, I'll send you to breakout room number 1. And Ms. Ferguson, do you have an attorney for Adrian Winters, please?
Judge, it keeps reassigning the same attorney because he's still on the misdemeanor.
case.
All right, let me see you in a breakout room. Let me see you in breakout room number 2, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Winters, your new attorney is going to be Melissa Christian, and your case is reset for January 19th.
Okay, ma'am, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Norm, can you let them know 16C can go back? Is there anyone here from Criminal Trial Division?
I'm here, Judge.
All right. Can I see you in breakout room number 2? It's about the email that I sent out to everyone on the
Oh,
felony drug court.
Okay, yes, Judge.
I mean, we all have.
Okay, we're looking to
Get back that way.
Ms. Ferguson, are you available, please?
Yes, sir.
I think we needed the cert of appeal and the video conference permit.
Yes, it should be going through. I'm trying to push it through. Give me just a second. It should be going through.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes, you're welcome.
Is all the paperwork done?
Sorry, Judge, are you talking to me or?
Yes.
I haven't received from Ms. Ferguson the video conference paperwork or the cert of appeal.
All right,
but-
if you check your email, it should be coming to you.
Yes, it's just not here yet.
Joshua Sting? Jashawn Sting.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we're gonna have to recall your case for a different date because there are other issues.
I had hired a new lawyer. He called me today at 2 when we was on the break. And he told me to get with him. I'm kind of on monitor, so I mean, I'm definitely getting him, and I definitely have the money to go pay him. But
Well, here's the thing, he needs to file a notice because the court has still not received a notice of retained counsel, and we can't move on with him until he does that. So we're gonna recall this case back. And we are going to recall it back for, just one moment. Ms. Ferguson, can we recall this back for January 7th?
Yes, ma'am.
We're gonna recall this back on January 7th, and your attorney needs to be present.
okay, yeah, I'll definitely be ready by then, Judge.
All right, see you then.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. I can log out?
Welcome. Yes.
All right.
All right, does anyone know if Aiden Alvarado, if that case was taken care of in misdemeanor court?
Is Aiden Alvarado, is that the one with David Garcia?
Yes.
That one's gonna be taken care of tomorrow morning, Judge. They have a visiting, or the coordinator was out and there's a substitute coordinator, but he said he will schedule it for tomorrow morning to be done. And then he will email Marcus once it's done, once it's taken care of.
All right, thank you.
Judge, I sent a new night mag dismissal on that case.
Okay, I will sign it right now. Thank you. And Norma, do you have an update on Paul Juarez?
That one was withdrawn, Judge.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
I thought that one was, Rebecca, that one was withdrawn, correct? It was withdrawn, Judge.
All right, thank you. And Zachary Prince.
I forgot to call.
That's okay. We'll recall this for the beginning of January for their discovery.
Okay.
Are we able to put this one on the 7th as well?
Yes, ma'am. Forgot about Mr. McMahon.
And then Jose Romo.
I thought you guys took care of that one, Judge.
All right, Rebecca, was Jose Romo taken care of?
That one. It's
You know
not a, well, I didn't have it down as probation.
Yes, I don't believe this was on the docket.
It's on the recall page. I didn't pay attention. If it doesn't say probation next to it.
Okay.
There's.
Oh, it's a motion for them to remove the ankle monitor. All right, thank you. All right, and here, you can take these. All right, Norma, the defense attorney didn't come in on that one, so that's on Mr. Briones.
Okay.
All right, are people ready on Moxley? Eduardo Jimenez.
Yes, Judge, I'm ready.
All right, the court is calling 2021 CR 7246, State of Texas versus Jason Moxley. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Brittany Sparks.
For the defense?
Eduardo Jimenez.
And are you Mr. Moxley?
Yes, Your Honor.
We're proceeding by video because of the pandemic. Any objection from the state?
No objections, Your Honor.
Any objection from the defense?
No objection, Judge.
Mr. Moxley, did you sign a document entitled Defendant's Consent to Appear by Video? Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily consented to appear by video. Defense, have you received all the discovery in this case? And did you review it with your client?
Yes, Judge, I received it and reviewed it with my client.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Moxley, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, I do, Judge.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
No, Your Honor, we're going to be waiving the enhancement.
Any objection?
No objection, Your Honor.
Mr. Moxley, I'm showing you what's entitled Court Admonishments and Defendants Waivers and Affidavit of Admonitions. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand what you're charged with? Possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1 gram to 4 grams. That's a third-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea bargain agreement. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea bargain agreement and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you understand by entering this plea bargain agreement, you are giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea bargain agreement in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses to this offense?
We've discussed them, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, he does, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent, was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, I do, Your Honor.
Mr. Moxley, has anyone threatened you, forced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Has anyone promised you anything other than the plea bargain agreement to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Showing you the plea bargain page. Did you review that page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 4 years in the prison. There are no applications. The state will take in consideration County Court Cause number 652289, 661539. Did you understand that to be the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, is that the plea bargain agreement?
It is, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea bargain agreement?
Yes, Your Honor.
Next, I'm going to show you the paragraph entitled Waiver of Appeal. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it in both places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counselor, are there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Then to the offense is charged in the indictment. How do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence to support the defendant's no contest plea.
Yes, Your Honor. State offer states Exhibit 1 in all attachments.
Any objections?
No objections, Your Honor.
Mr. Moxley, I'm showing you what's entitled Waiving Consent to Stipulation of Testimony and Stipulations. Did you review those documents with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you electronically sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there will be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. I see here that there is a backpack and it has forgery-related items according to the police report. Has someone else been charged with this, or is this defendant going to be charged with this at a later date?
Judge, we don't have a co-defendant on this.
Okay, all right, and I see, my correction, I see that the theft is in the county court cause numbers that you're taking in consideration.
Yes, Judge.
All right, anything you wish to say on behalf of your client, Mr. Jimenez?
No, Judge, thank you.
All right, the court will follow your plea bargain agreement, sentence you to 4 years in prison, give you credit for any time served. Take in consideration county court cause number 652289 and 661593. Next, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it? And did you electronically sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
And because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we can go off the record. Mr. Moxley, you're gonna have to change your ways. Otherwise, you're gonna find yourself in and out of prison. Don't be that person who is constantly in and out of prison, and you're telling people who are new how things operate, okay?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, good luck to you, Mr. Moxley.
Judge, may I approach on a different matter briefly?
Yes.
So I forgot to mention when you asked me about Fabian Vega, there was I know he has his trial date February 8th, but there was a motion placed for a court-appointed investigator. It is a murder case. Would you like to take up that motion now, or would you like me to come back some other time to do that?
No, I always sign motions when someone is requesting on an investigator on any case. So if that motion has been filed and that motion has been signed by the court, I don't leave motions sitting around.
Okay,
I
Judge.
know sometimes people get upset because they're like, we're hearing a motion. You're hearing the motions too quickly.
No, I just didn't.
Yes.
Some courts, you have to show up and actually ask for action on the motion, and or you won't get it. So,
Oh, no, I always sign all motions.
I appreciate that, Judge. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Okay, yes.
All right, everyone, we are going to stop our live stream. It is 5:07 p.m. It has been a long day.